Hello and welcome to day 24 of Walking the Quiet Path with me, Cate Field. If you've been following along, I hope you are finding a rhythm in this slow unfolding. And if you're just joining me now, you are most welcome. You can travel through these sessions in any order. Each one is a gentle pause for creative reflection. It's based on my book, The Quiet Path, which you can find linked below. I wrote The Quiet Path during a time when I realised how often I was rushing, even through things that I loved. And I wanted to reclaim slowness, not as an escape, but as a way of paying better attention. And if that resonates with you too, you are in the right place. Today's session is called The Tenderness of Small Things, and we'll be tuning into gentleness. Not as fragility, but as a quiet strength. A butterfly, a seedling, a wave touching the shore, all of these carry a kind of power that doesn't always shout. It whispers, it stays, it grows. So today, let's honour the small, the subtle, and the softly resilient through image, word, or movement. There's grace in things that take their time. And let's explore that together. The daily prompt. A butterfly does not hurry. It moves as if the air itself is holding it, cradling its weightless form from flower to flower. The sea, even when restless, kisses the shore with a softness that speaks of return, of belonging. A seedling breaks through the earth, not with force, but with quiet insistence, knowing that growth is not about speed, but about reaching towards the light. There is strength in gentleness, a kind of grace in things that take their time. We often associate strength with force, with action, with effort. But the most resilient things in nature move gently and persist without resistance and grow in their own time. The butterfly doesn't rush. The wave doesn't force its arrival, however large it might be. A seedling doesn't break through the soil in haste, but it always finds the light. So where in your life or your creative practice can you embrace tenderness and patience? Can you allow your art to unfold without force, your words to emerge softly, your process to feel like a quiet reaching rather than a hurried grasping? Today, explore the strength in gentleness, that quiet power of small things. Your creative invitations. For painting and drawing, depict something small yet strong, like a seedling stretching towards the light, or a butterfly in flight, or that wave meeting the shore. For writing, write about a moment where gentleness proved more powerful than force. For sculpting and textile art, work with delicate, light materials, thin threads and soft fabric, fine details that reveal strength in subtlety. For photography, capture a moment of quiet strength, dew on a leaf, a small creature at rest, sunlight breaking through tiny gaps. And for mixed media, use layers, soft colours, light textures to express gentleness as a form of resilience. And your sensory prompt, hold something small and delicate in your hands. A feather, a petal, a tiny stone, and feel its lightness, its fragility, its quiet presence. And notice that even in its softness, it exists with certainty and with purpose. And let this feeling guide your creative practice today. I decided that I would do some writing for this day, for day 24. And I had this idea of a kite. And when I'm writing about anything, whether it's a poem or a short story or something like that, I want to try and get some ideas of what I want to get across. And
So for this one, I was thinking about patience and kindness, strength and love. And then I thought about the relationship between grandfather and granddaughter, thinking in particular about the relationship with my daughter and my dad, which is just quite a phenomenal relationship. And then I was thinking about joy, and I was thinking about sharing. So I write my little notes in this book. There's all sorts of things in here, and lots of things I just cross out and start again, and all of those sorts of things. So I started with the idea of the little girl sitting on a stone step with her arms crossed and her lips tight, and she's sitting in a summer garden. I wanted to kind of convey that. And the idea is that she has a kite, but the strings are all tangled. And this is my kind of thought, and her kind of muttering of being cross because it won't fly because the strings are tangled. So I'm just going to write a very, very short story, just putting some ideas down, and I'll show you what that is in just a moment. Well, I put together some more ideas. So we'd got to the tangled string in her lap. "Won't fly," she muttered. He didn't speak. He smiled and sat beside her on the step and gently took the string from her. Slowly, gently, he began to tease apart the snarly knots, not tugging, not pulling, but gently freeing the stubborn threads. She watched. One knot loosened and then another, and after a while she reached out. She reached out her fingers, small and careful, and together they worked in silence until the string lay smooth between them. Grandfather took her hand and lifted her up. He placed the kite in her hands. "Wind's still good," he said, and she ran. The kite soared. Later, much later, she would remember that day, not just the kite bright against the blue sky, but the way her grandfather had sat beside her, patiently untangling the string. And she remembered how the sky made room for her kite. So that's kind of like my first draft, and I will cross out bits, and I might just sort of work on it a little bit more. But this is the idea of when we're using these sorts of prompts and giving ourselves time to just think about it. And perhaps you've got lots of ideas too.
Thank you so much for joining me today. And I hope this exploration of gentleness has reminded you that small things matter, that creativity doesn't need to be loud or fast to be meaningful. Sometimes those quiet gestures hold the most truth. If you'd like to continue this journey, my book, The Quiet Path, offers a companion for your own creative practice, and you can find all the details in the in the description below, and there's a free sample as well if you'd like to try it out. And if you'd like to share your reflections or your artwork, we have such a warm and supportive community on Facebook, and again the link is below. I would love to have you with us because it's just such a wonderful place. Next time we'll step into day 25, The Passing Breeze, an invitation to create without demands. And until then, take your time, go gently, and trust in the quiet power of small things. Take care. Bye-bye.